Hello everyone, this is Chris Jamel at Exiton Interactive, and in this video we are going to focus on a couple areas. First one being is currently our control or authenticator, if we clicked on the forgot username or forgot password links, will animate out, animate back in, but it won't do anything. By the time we're done here, if you click on say forgot username, it'll animate out, animate back in, and while it's out, we'll make all the changes to the interface that it needs to make before it animates back in. So for example, we're going to change the title. We're of course going to hide the different, or hide the links. We're going to hide the username and password, hide various things. And we'll even change the text on the button. So if you see animate out, we have the forgot username. Username and password controls are hidden, email shown. Text on the button went from reset to cancel. We even have a different message based on whether or not the users forgot their username or forgot their password. Please enter your email address to receive instructions on how to reset your password. Again, hit cancel, it goes back. So that's one area of focus. And by the time we're done, also we're going to fix it so that if there's actual information within our controls, if you actually hit the reset button, it will return the controls to their original state, so they have their original values, and of course they've changed to the pristine colors. So those are the two things we're going to focus on in this video. Of course, as usual, you can find a link to the article with the changes in the code in the description below. All right, let's get started. So we're going to go in here. First thing that we're going to do is modify the template. So I'm going to go in to our various little folders. We're going to go to the authenticator.component.pug file. And what I want to do to start with is to modify the text, or for the buttons to be able to have the dynamic text. So what we're going to do is just remove the text argument from the button mix-in, as well as get rid of it over here. And what we want to do is to bind to the inner HTML property of our button. Helps if you spell it right. And what we're going to do is say bind to the result of a method call. The method we're going to call is getButtonText. As we're usually very well aware of now, we're going to pass in the string key value. We also want to change, well, that's done here. Actually, let me think of it. We'll change the button, the calls to the button method to remove the text. Next thing, we'll go up here to our forgot links. And what we're going to do is to modify whether or not the links are shown. So what I want to do is, so the link is shown if the person or the user is trying to log in, but we also want to have it not shown if we're doing sub action forgot username. If that's equal to false, then we'll show it, and is sub action forgot password, that's also equal to false. So we're going to show the forgot links if the person is logging in and we're not on one of the sub actions. We're going to copy that down as well to the forgot password. We're also going to modify the control group. We could do it, hide the control group. I don't know why I chose to do it with the if, but whatever. We're going to continue with the if, so let's make this a little bit better to read. Star ngIf. And for this one, all I care about is I guess we're doing it part and part, right? I'm only showing it if the user is logging in, and we're doing that through, our component. And now I'm deciding to say, put this ngIf on here only, so we're doing it in two different places, I guess, but I'm just we're showing the ability to do different ways. So we won't show it if the user is registering or if one of the sub actions is true. We'll take care of that. Next thing that we're going to modify is our welcome screen. So we're going to display a different message depending on what the user is doing. So this validator, hello, happy to see you, please enter username and password, that one applies if the user is logging in and again not doing the forgot username or forgot password. So let's add a few more here. So div info validator. First one that we're going to do, I guess, is forgot password. So this is our ngIf equals and is sub action. Actually, no doubt I'm going to misspell something at some point. Might have already done it. And we'll make a validator here. And on this one, so forgot password, let me just copy this in. What we're going to basically say is, sorry for we're sorry for your inconvenience. Please enter your email address to receive instructions on how to reset your password. So that will take care of that one. Let's just copy, excuse me. So this one, if the user has forgotten their username, again, we are sorry for the inconvenience. Please enter your email address to receive your username. And while we're at it, we're going to add just one more, which is if the user is registering. So happy that you've decided to join us. Please enter and submit the required information. Go ahead and save that. Would say let's check it out, but of course it's not going to work. It's complaining because we need that method for the button text. So let's go back in here and what I call it, get button text. Actually, before we change that, let's go into the authenticator.component.scss file, this is styles. Make a quick change here on the authenticator itself. We're going to say overflow hidden. Save that. We can close that. And now we'll go into the authenticator.component.ts file. And we need to create this method here. And I keep forgetting what I called it. So we have public get button text. It's going to give us the key. And for it, all we're going to do is, of course, use my favorite construct apparently, which is the switch key. And we'll say case this dot first one button send key. If it's the button send key, we're just going to return send. Case this dot button reset key. This one we're going to return if it's this dot is sub action forgot password or this dot is sub action forgot username. If either of those are true, we'll send back cancel. Otherwise, we will return reset. And we're going to do default case. Default case is just going to be throw an error. Don't know what the key is. So we'll save that. Everything built, and we'll go back into our browser and everything's working again. So if we click on the forgot password here, we have we're sorry for your inconvenience. Please enter your email address to receive instructions on how to reset your password. So it gives us the right message. Button is changed to cancel. The forgot links are not displayed. Same deal. We do get a different message up here for the if you forgot your username, please enter email address to receive your username. Again, cancel. While we're at it, have the register one open, and you can see that we have the right message being displayed. All right, so that's working. Let's see, what do I do next? Okay, so the thing that we're doing here, if I click the forgot password link, you'll see that the text of the button, the links themselves will disappear, the title will change, that'll all happen basically instantly. You can see it happening even before it animates out and animates back in. Same deal if I hit the cancel, you can see stuff pops up. Of course, this is not the behavior that I want. I want all of this changing, everything to happen after this thing is animated out. I want it over here, make the change, and come back in having changed already. Right? So let's take care of fixing that. So our first stop on the way to fixing it is to go into our on-click forgot handler. So on-click forgot password. The reason those changes are happening, of course, is because the interface is driven by the value of this is sub action forgot password, forgot username values, right? If it's true, it does something. If it's false, it does something else. When we created the sub action animate method a while ago, we go down to it, we're specifying this action. That action is invoked after the out animation is finished, right? So the inputs container is animated out. Whatever the action is passed in is done, and then it's animated back in. So that's exactly where we want to put our change to this field. So we're going to move it inside the sub action, or the action that we're passing in. So we've done it for if you click the links, but I believe we're also going to go ahead and take care of it on the on-click reset. Let's go ahead. So this is sending them back. We're going to put it inside the the action again. Save that. We go back and go, all right, everything's fixed. So I'm going to click the forgot username, and absolutely nothing happens. And the reset, well, besides the animation plays, and then it'll update something. So we need to fix that. What we need to do is to be able to tell Angular that something has happened and you need to update my interface. And we can do that by going back to the top of our file here, going to our core imports, and we're going to import the change detector ref. All right. Let's go down to the constructor here, and we're give us a little space, private, read only, change detector ref. Perfect. So we'll get that passed in, and now what we want to do is to go down to the sub action animate. So again, we're running this action here, and it updates the values, and what we need to do is say Angular through our change detector ref detect changes. We'll save that. Back to the browser, and now I click the forgot username, and it's updated here correctly. I mean, we'll deal with the inputs here in a second, but we have the right title, cancel button's changed. And if you notice it while it's happening, this is also updated. You could fade in or fade out. I think most people will be distracted by the animation anyway to not even notice. So I'm just going to leave it. But at least that part is now updating correctly. All right, let's go back. And the next thing that we are going to do is deal with the behavior. So behavior meaning I click that, forgot username. I need the email input to pop up here so I can send in my email address. So let's take care of that. And let's see. Okay, so let's go to the on-click forgot password, I guess. So what I want to do here is, again, once the inputs container is animated out, I want to hide the username and password, and I want to show the email. So I'm going to do that for both the forgot links. So we're going to make a helper function. We'll just say on click forgot, which we'll create here in a second. I'm going to copy this, paste it down here in the on forgot username as well. So what we need to now do is create the on click forgot method. So we'll just say private on click forgot. Hopefully it gets rid of my little red. Yep. So we have, now what we want to do, like I said, is we use the control pair collection. We'll say hide group, and we're going to hide this control username. So we'll get rid of that one. We also are going to want to say control username dot update value and validity of it, and we can go ahead and pass in the only self. They don't have any children anyway, but so we're hiding the username, and we need to update the value and validity because whether or not the username is required depends on, if the sub action is true or not. So now that it's true, we want to update the validators. We also want to do the same thing for the password. So this control password group ID, we're hiding it, and control password update value and validity. We'll do the only self again, true. So that hides those, and we want to now show the control email group ID, email dot perfect. So now that should take care of the putting the right one or showing the email if we click one of the links. So the others are hidden and the email showed. Of course, we haven't done the reset part yet. So we'll go back to the TypeScript file and we'll go to the on-click reset. On-click reset. We're going to do the exact same thing here. Create us a little method on-click reset. We'll call it forgot. We've got that. Copy, paste it down there. And I guess that should probably go right below it. So private. That might have been more trouble than it's worth. All right, so basically what we want to do is the same but in reverse as what we did before. So let me just copy this in. So we're going to show the username, show the password, and hide the email. So let's save that. Again, back to our browser, forgot username. And we have the email address. We'll hit cancel. Forgot password. Says forgot password, email. You can hit cancel. Now, next thing we need to fix is you can see a whole lot of, so this is where it would start. If I click on forgot username, you'll see that we get this flashing. We saw our message. Then, of course, it flashed to the email address. Go back, get a couple flashes going on, password. Now, it's, of course, happening because we previously made it so that if we show a group, it's automatically focused. Or the input within the group is automatically focused, which was perfect behavior until now. So let's go back and take care of this. So what I'm going to do is go to the control pair.ts file. I'm going to import the low-is-nil function. And we'll come down here to, what do we want? I guess show group. And what's happening is the focusing is going on in here. So what I'm going to do is to say, pass in an optional Boolean called focus. We'll say that if low-is-nil focus, so if you don't specify it, or focus is equal to true, then focus. Otherwise, it won't. So we can close that. We have to go to the control pair collection.ts file. And we'll go to the show group method, and we have to pass in a similar focus argument so that we can come down here and pass it in, save it. So we close the control pair collection. If I go back to the authenticator.component.ts file, all I want to do now is to go into these show group methods here, or calls, and say false. I do not want to autofocus them. So that happens on click reset. And we need to also modify on click forgot. Oh, that's a hide. So we want show. Oops, and I want false. Save that. Go back to the browser and do some more clicking. So click the forgot username. It animates out, makes the change. We have our message. Now the user can click on the email address. If we hit cancel, we'll get our message back to, welcome, please enter username and password. And password does the same thing, works perfectly, works the way that I'm intending. So we're good to go there. And I think as far as the animation part of this, that should take care of what we needed to do for the sub actions. What I'm going to do now is to use up some more time that we have and add in the ability to actually reset the form in the first place. To do that, I'm going to go into the forms folder and go to the form.controller.ts file, because I want to, like I said, be able to reset the form. And what does it mean to say reset the form? Basically, it's going to say whatever value that the form or the controls were created with, I want that value to be applied to them. So let's go to here and give us a private read-only field that we call defaults. Oops. Defaults is an object. We'll set it empty object at the moment. Do our usual song and dance. Index the properties by string, and then that will return either a string or a boolean. Just that's all we need at the moment. That's all we're passing in. We could add later on if we need to. So now we have the defaults. Well, we have an empty object to hold the defaults. We need to add those default values to it. And we'll come down here to our create method. So we're passing in the configuration object, and we'll say low-for-own config contain, or it will be the for-own method will be passed in two things. First the value, and the second is the key. And let's see, what we want to do is to say this defaults and the key, and that's going to be equal to v0 principal. That should be all that I have to do. I'm not sure. I've been thinking about it. I'm not really sure. I mean, we've defined the type for the value to be first element, string or boolean, second the validator function. I get this error saying it can't figure it out even though I'm indexing it. So whatever, we just do our thing and tell it this is what it's going to be, and then it's happy. Next thing I want to do is, just to see that it's working, is to console log the defaults. So if I go back to the browser, we can see in our console here that we do have this defaults object. It has the right values for everything, null for the confirm, false. So everything seems to be working correctly. Next thing that I want to do is actually create the method that's supposed to use this thing. So we'll say public reset, and we'll say this.form.reset, and we're going to pass in the defaults. It's important to note that the reason we can pass these in is because we've created the defaults so that it looks like it's in the correct form for this configuration object that's required for the reset. Again, to make sure that this is working, we're going to make use of our console. All I'm going to do is log the name of the control and its current value. Save that. All right. Now, of course, our defaults are working. If I go up here, type in some gibberish, and hit the reset, Nothing happens because I haven't gotten any smarter, and we need to go to the authenticator.component.ts file and actually call the method. So on click reset. Where are you at? On click reset. I think what we'll do here is at the top, most of the time people are going to be just using the form either to log in or register, not to say they forgot their username and password. So we'll just put at the top here, we'll say if this dot is subaction forgot password. If that's false, and this dot is subaction forgot username. If that's also false, then we'll do this form controller dot reset, and we'll return. And the main reason I'm doing this is because we're updating value and validity within this action here, so I want the change to be made before that update happens. But I also don't, probably doesn't make that big of a deal if the values disappear before the animation plays, but we took our time to make sure it doesn't, these other things don't happen before the animation is, animates out. So let's just continue with that, and we'll go down here to the, what I call it, on click reset forgot. On click reset forgot. So before we do any of the updating, so now we're animated out, we'll just say this dot form controller dot reset. Save that. Now let's try this again. Click my gibberish, hit the reset, and we have them, displayed correctly. That's showing that they're now set to the right values. You can see that they've changed their validity state, so we're back to the pristine. I think that should be working for our resets. We're able to reset the form now. While I'm thinking about it, let's go back to the form.controller.ts file and get rid of all of our console log statements. Save that. So again, in this video, we've made it so that if we click the forgot username or forgot password, the inputs container animates out. We hide the username and password. We show the email. Do the reverse. The value and validity are all updated. We've actually updated the ability to click the reset button, actually have it reset things. And I think in the next video, I'm leaning towards creating, or at least starting the creation of the, what I call a send screen. So if I type in valid information, if I hit the send button, the screen animates down. It talks to the server. We get an animation based on whether it was successful or not. In this case, it just refreshes. But if you successfully tried to log in, then we would just redirect to the home page or someplace on the site. And so I think that is what I'm leaning towards taking care of in the next video. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.